Hello, it's your Professor Kyra, and the topic I have today is not a furry or mascot related one. It's actually another really nice life topic for you. That actually comes from this hockey game I just went to, which I know sounds like a weird setting, but after I do some explaining, you'll understand. Also, I'm having issues with audio because I just got a new phone recently, and I'm trying to work out the bugs of it. I used to record an iPhone. I now have the Razor, and it's been a little weird, but I'm using a mic now, which I've had. So if the audio sounds a little funky, I apologize, but we'll work on some stuff. So, life topic. This is actually something really nice, and I hope this kind of helps other people that might have been in the same situation as me. So, let me kind of give you the backstory of why this hockey game was so special. So, it's been over 2 years now since I broke up with a partner of 5 years. The relationship kind of went sour. It was never really great through the entire time. Now realizing, all these years later. Um, but one of the things we used to do all the time is attend hockey games. Hockey games used to be our thing. We used to go there all the time. It got to the point where I wasn't myself. I was always so and so's partner. I was always a combined unit with this other person. I was never just like myself. And when things got really, really bad, like really bad with the relationship, and I knew I was going to have to end it, one of the hardest things for me was getting over the fact that I may not be able to go to these hockey games again. These hockey games were really important to me. And my thought during this time, which is going to sound crazy, is if I leave this person, I'm not going to have these really fun experiences ever again because we were pretty known at this place, you know, as what we were and all this other stuff. And I worried that if I broke up with him, I'm not going to have that really fun experience anymore. And for a while, that was actually one of the big reasons why I wasn't going to leave my partner. I would have rather have stayed in a toxic relationship to keep the fun that I was having at these games than leaving him to be happy. Well, sort of fast forward, it did get to the point where I could not stay with this man. Um, he was a terrible person. And I was like, well, I have to do for me. Because I was for so long not really doing anything for myself. So I was like, you know what? I have to do this for me. And even if I lose this thing that I cherish, I have to end this relationship. I ended the relationship. And for a while, I wasn't going to these games. I wasn't attending them. I was staying home when I really just wanted to be there again. Because I worried so bad that, I would be this villain because I didn't want to be with this man anymore. It took me some time before I did start to go to the games again by myself. I was full of anxiety. I did not go with anybody else. It was just me. And it was the first time that I was actually going to these things by myself. I'm not someone who really likes to enjoy things by myself, but because of my past relationship, I've had to just enjoy things by myself because he was completely stopping to want to do those things. I went to the game. I was expecting just, why did you leave him? Why are you like this? You're a terrible person. I got there, and none of that happened. The news was slowly starting to circulate that we weren't together anymore. Uh, I would have those people every once in a while, like, oh, how are you, and whatever, and I'd be like, oh, not great, because we're not together. And they'd be like, oh my god, you guys were, always together, all this stuff, and they never would pry, which is what I was worried about. I just said, hey, the relationship just didn't work out, and that was that. So, fast forward, I started to have other opportunities with things. I really couldn't attend games as much anymore because of said opportunities, but I was still very much present at this place. And I noticed over time, people were really starting to gravitate to me. These people that I thought really liked my boyfriend really came clean and said, "We did not like your boyfriend. We kind of just pretended to do so because, we just, you know, wanted to be nice or whatever." So, why is this all relevant to what was said to me at this past hockey game? Now, we are now 2 years into the future. He is now with somebody else in this arena and parading around with this girl, by the way. At this same hockey game, he was holding hands and skipping through the concourse with her in the most dramatic way I have ever seen. And I want to make it very clear, I am not at all in love with this man anymore. Like, his presence absolutely makes me want to be violent, and I just cannot with him. I am not in love with him anymore. But seeing him acting like that is kind of funny because he's been, I guess, with this girl now for 3 years. 3 months, sorry, not that far. 3 months. And I had told one of my friends at this game, yeah, 3 months in, he's right on schedule for the first time he's going to cheat on her, because that's what he did with me. Because 3 months into our relationship, he was on dating apps, and I found out because a girl reached out to me and said he was on said dating apps and said nothing about me. So I said, he's right on schedule. And I'm a little bit petty. I said that very, very loud in the concourse at this game. But I will say, for the first time in 2 years, going to the thing that I cherish so much felt really good. I did not go with anyone. I was by myself. Because me and my current boyfriend are long distance, so, eventually we're going to move together, and I would like him to go to the games with me, so it could be fun again with, a partner. But I walked around that arena for the first time and did not feel anxious. And seeing him with somebody else actually was the most relieving thing, because for a while he was stalking me. Now he has his own stalker because he was parading around with problematic women, and now he has his own problems, and I think it's a little bit ironic and funny because he was a little crazy with me. And the end of the game came. And I was with my sister, because my sister works for the arena. We were just talking. We were going to get dinner after the game, so we were just talking in the concourse while people were leaving. And a season ticket holder come up to me, who I had some interactions with over the years. And they came up to me. They were making some jokes and stuff about the game or whatever, because the game was not great. But it's preseason, so we're not going to get into that. But they said, "Hey, I just want to say I'm very glad you did not leave the organization because of the events that occurred." And they said, "I'm very glad you stayed. And, there are a lot of people here who are very glad that you stayed, even with the circumstances that unfolded." I said, "Hey, you guys are stuck with me." And I laughed because, in the moment, the emotions were hard to process. So I made a joke and we laughed. And I said, "Hey, see you next game." And I have finally had a little bit of time since that was said to me, what that meant for me. And it makes me want to go back to 2 years ago when I was so anxious and afraid and say, "Hey, everything's going to be fine. You're still going to have that thing you enjoy, but minus the fucking problem that was ensuing within it." Because I found out in these past 2 years that nobody in that place liked him. Nobody. They just deal with him. I was a positive side effect of him. And I have created my own relationships and friends with friends, workers there and everything else, and have had some very cool opportunities come my way because I was the liked person in this relationship. And I've realized now that all of my worrying was for nothing, and for once, I'm glad I was wrong. Being told that by somebody who I don't really talk to except for at hockey games meant the world to me. That they were glad that I didn't leave. It was almost like the perfect conclusion to a very perfect game, because I felt good. Everything felt right. Everything felt awesome, felt good. I was finally I'm over this situation and I can enjoy the sport that I love so much again. And then that was almost like a confirmation by an unexpected character in this sort of situation, who usually is just a goofy character and a goofy guy or whatever, saying something so heartfelt. It meant the world to me. So, I do, as the furry professor, want to make this into a teachable moment. If you are in a bad relationship and you are in the same situation, maybe it's not hockey games, maybe it's just places you'd like to go or something, and you're worried that these things are going to not be enjoyable when the breakup happens or it's preventing you from leaving, please don't let it be, because I promise what you think is going to happen probably won't. For my situation, I would have never thought in a million years that I was so admired and so liked by so many people and who supported my choice that I took more time than I should have to actually do. And like, I just really want to stress that sometimes being wrong is so fucking relieving. And you should never be holding back from your true happiness. If leaving this person is going to do good for you, do it. Because I guarantee you the right people will support you. If they're the wrong people, they won't support it. Because, like, when this whole situation happened for me, I gained more than I lost. The only thing I seemed to lose was him. Everything else stayed. All my friends, all of my positive relationships, the place that I loved so dearly never went anywhere. It's now my place of enjoyment and not something where it's a very grim reminder of the past. It's now this look ahead to the future. And for the first time in 2 years, I went to a hockey game by myself and didn't feel an ounce of anxiety that wasn't, just from the game. I will take that game anxiety any day from watching this sport that I love versus the stuff that's happening in the seats, the drama, everything. I feel good now. And I want this to be a teachable thing of just do it. The right people are going to be there for you and they're going to support you, and the things that you love are always going to be there. You just have to find a new kind of way to look at it. Perspective is everything. Don't focus behind you, focus what's ahead of you. And maybe your love for whatever will be appreciated more, and maybe it might take some time to realize. But I promise those things will still be enjoyable, and they won't always be a grim reminder of the past. They're going to continue to be that thing that holds you together when you need it most. I'm a furry professor. I really hope this helps with things, because this was a really big eye-opener for me. And having that person kind of confirm the feeling, it really just made things perfect. I'm very looking forward to this hockey season, because no matter what happens on the ice, I think what's going to happen off the ice is going to be pretty good. If you ever have any questions about anything, please ask. That's what I'm here for. And like I said, I apologize if the audio is a little bit funky. You can probably see it right here, my little microphone. It's a little bit of an adjustment. I actually might even try to do videos on like my iPad or my Mac. So just playing around with some stuff. I'm not tech savvy. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.